In this series of video, we will cover all topics about frame. And we will discuss with real framer, Galicia Cruz. Hello, Galicia.
Hello, Igor.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Yeah, pretty good. I've been working with you on last Hour 5 project, and it was perfect job. Our viewers very often asking me how to make it step by step. It's important to pay attention to details.
Oh.
That's why we are working today on this video. After foundation is done, actions that you do after foundation done.
Okay, when we initially started this foundation, the first thing I did was thoroughly and meticulously check all the levels you had here, the squares you had, everything, ensuring everything was in excellent condition.
If the foundation has no square, you follow the foundation on, or you do a square with your frame.
The solution is on this side. See, this side of the house is definitely, absolutely the longest side. It's where we're going to follow this straight line. This is the shortest line. We're going to look for the solution from here to there. We can check a square, and from a square, we can start measuring from back to front. I'm always going to take the information from the plans that the builder is going to give me.
You can meet metal parts of frame. It's very important. Why we install this column? And you can see we connected this to the foundation, because those columns will keep huge, long beams that connected one wall and second wall. There is no support inside of house. That's why we cannot use here wood columns. We have to use metal columns. One recommendation, my guys put inside foam, closed foam insulation. They drill holes and put inside. Why we did it? Because this column create like a bridge, we called it cold bridge. If outside very cold weather, inside hot temperature, we will get condensate on the metal. After that you connect you connect wood to the column, beam to the column, metal column. You have to paint it and make it like waterproof protection. And this is a metal part of framing. It's very important part. Usually structural engineer creates this for you. That's why you have to look at the structural design. If you will see metal part, you have to invite welders to make this part first. After that, framers that working with wood connected to the metal part, their wood part. I saw a lot of houses with 2x4 outside walls. And even in the design, it's 2x4. Based on your experience, how many percentage of houses you built with 2x4 outside walls and 2x6?
It typically depends on the engineer, architect, or designer that they are actually using. In this house, is marked as 2x6. When you see 2x4, it's because it's a production houses.
Okay.
It's too much cheap,
Okay.
you know. Typically, the architects in small houses are, generally speaking, going to mark the wall as 2x4 because, as we say, it's smaller, it's a level. For me, 70 and 30.
70 is 2x6
Yeah.
and 30 2x4.
Yeah, 2x4.
Who has to install windows?
Sometimes I can install them, I know how to do it right. But sometimes I don't like to commit to installing windows permanently or committing to it. For example, in this house, the windows are from another country, so they need something a bit more special to install them.
Okay, in this house, I understand that we ordered windows in other country, we install it by other contractors, but in other projects, you install windows.
Sí,
Yeah.
correcto. For window installation, the first thing we do is protect against water. We use a lot of waterproofing, the waterproof tape to cover the whole window. The tape
Be careful, yeah.
is I need cover the whole part.
Hold this part.
Yeah,
Okay.
hold this part where the window's going. And after, when you start the window, you need cover the all edge around to the window.
Okay, if it's $10 per square feet price for framing,
Okay.
with windows. How many dollars windows?
I think it should be 1,01 and 120 for 120 per square feet for the windows included.
Okay, $1-2 per square feet. It's for installation. Depends on quantity.
It depends on the windows, it depends on the weight, things like that. There are some that are quite heavy.
Wall is done.
Uh-huh.
First floor is done. Do we need to install sheet exactly when first floor done, or you can do second floor and after that install sheeting?
We can take it step by step, gradually and carefully. If we're initially building the first floor, we can securely put the sheeting on the walls. We can use the playbook to reinforce the walls a bit stronger and keep going up steadily and consistently as we continue upwards.
This is a special, I know, zip panel. This is alternative materials. It's water barrier system, but it's like zip panel because zip panel came to market first. But I saw a lot of projects when people use just OSB and Tyvek.
Both materials are very good for any construction. I've also worked quite a bit with the tail. This is not a bad material. As you can see, this material also has an unlimited warranty, but they give you the option of what you think is best. For me, this is good. It's a good material if you know how to use it. For example, you can't use staples that will puncture it where water can get inside. Water gets in. Using this material is pointless. But for the seams, we use the tape that comes specifically for sealing any gaps that the playbook might have.
2.5 nails for connection sheeting to the wall, correct? As I know, some inspectors don't approve the staples.
Exacto.
Because it's codes. Codes now in Texas requires to use nails.
Exactly. Recommended weights that are specifically designed to be used with this material for optimal performance. After having the first floor, we continue with essentially the same thing, which is specifically the layout, the beams. These are called beams. They are TGI beams, and they run every 24 inches. The second level is too heavy. That's why I use 24 inches on center. All that information about 24 inches on center for the layouts I have in the plan, where I can see it indicated by an engineer.
As I understand, trusses are installed. Yes. After that, you use subfloor. What thickness you use for subfloor, and what's the material you use for subfloor?
Okay, for now we are using this. The plywood, you can see it's 1 inch thick and 8, which has protection for this. 1,000, unlimited duration, unlimited warranty, because it's one of the best materials you can use right now. It can withstand fire support. It's hard for it to catch fire. And on top of that, we use the zip system, which allows us to cover all the seams of the plywood so that moisture can't get in. In this particular case, you can use 3/4 OSB as an alternative. It's a bit more expensive than plywood, which is generally considered a bit more commonly used for strength. We are using 1 inch flooring right now, because we only have up to 3/4 available. So to improve the material, we have this.
What's the thickness you use for plywood or OSB?
For regular use, 3/4. Right now we are using this, which is thicker. This is 1 inch and 8.
It's much better to use 1 and 1/8 because it's stronger, no floor, no shakes.
It doesn't squeak. You can jump on it and nothing happens. Besides, this is modified for the layouts. This is manufactured for layouts up to 32 inches, but as you can see, it's 24 inches here.
I see on our way staircase. How do you work with staircase?
Mainly we need to know the area where it will be placed. For example, here we have this area to make a staircase. you need to know some rules that we use here in Texas. Risers. The heights of the risers must not exceed 7¾ As you can see, we have 7.5. And another code used in Texas is that the minimum has to be 10 inches because you can't have a step that's too high for the elderly or for children. And for the tread, what we call the tread has to be 10 inches so that you can place your foot exactly, giving you the right space for your feet.
How wide it should be? It's minimum.
We're talking about the codes and the minimum. The minimum we have is 30 to 32 inches. In this case, we have 45 inches, which is extremely good for moving any furniture up. Another way I work is by taking the height from the end of the upper floor down to the lower floor. I divide it by the number of steps indicated in the plan or code. Sometimes, as I mentioned, the step, when I divide it according to the plan, doesn't fit. Then I have to fix that, either by adding an extra step or removing one.
Okay, let's check your work. You're first and go to the second floor.
Okay, come
And
on.
we can even jump. How strong is this staircase?
Here, as you can clearly see, we are still using 2x6-inch exterior walls. They are going to inquire why that particular beam is there. That particular beam is there because we have a 2-foot overhang extending outwards. If you can clearly see, you can observe the outside and the roof is extended outwards. So that's why we're using that beam there. Rafter, we're using the rafters. In this house at 16 inches on center, I have them on a structural plan where the engineer is asking for them to be at 16 inches. That's why we're placing them 2x8 at 16 inches, because as you can clearly and easily see, the space is very long and doesn't have any support in the middle section of the structure. So being 2x8 at 16 inches, they're absolutely and undoubtedly strong enough so that over a significantly long period of time, they won't potentially sag or bend where unwanted moisture or water can get in. Any material that is placed or comes into contact with concrete needs to be treated wood. It always has to be treated wood because of the moisture. It's a material that's resistant to moisture, insects, anything. To me, it's the best material they've used so far during the time I've worked here. In this house, we're specifically putting in 5/8 screws connecting the wood to the concrete. They are anchored approximately every 32 inches on center in order to ensure better resistance and maximum stability. And as you say, any storm, any wind, the house is well anchored to the concrete for security. There are several points placed, let's say, for instance, specifically in this area, is placed on each continuous weight from top to bottom. That's why architect is asking me for a hold down.
I see here is a lot of studs, vertical studs, and header from LVL, but sometimes I see header from wood. How you define what the header we have to use, and here why so much studs here?
Okay, let me explain this to you. This happens because you're looking at a measurement of approximately 72 inches. I usually recommend that after 4 feet or 5 feet of opening, and typically always use at least 2 grips. I'm stopping here. The header is a triple LVL because the opening is too large. As you can see, it's characteristically supporting the ceiling joists, which are 2x8, and it's supporting what are the rafters, also 2x8. This is too much weight. So that's why we use solid wood.
Alicia, I see now that all rafters or these ceiling beams, you just use nails. But nails is not so strong. How you make the house strong?
Okay, here as you can see, the X is just nailed in, and as you said, it's only connected with nails. Usually we typically use hangers that are securely carrying the weight of this, the rafters. We use a metal called edge clip, which are to anchor them against any potential storm or strong wind and provide stability. Anchoring everything from the bottom up. Here too, 2009, in our construction process, we utilize a strap that connects the beam, the plates, the joists, and the studs, and secure them.
Is it metal straps?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, metal strap.
In our construction project, we are utilizing the exact same type of plywood material to effectively cover both the walls and the roof of the structure. This involves securing the plywood with nails, applying tape, or using similar materials to ensure everything is held together properly and securely.
Let's discuss about how much time you need to build house like that. It's 2,500 square feet house. How much time you need from foundation stage till inspection?
In this house, taking a little longer because of weather issues and holidays, but really, for a house like 2,500 square feet, we're finishing it in about 3 to 4 weeks at most.
How many people you need?
In my group, I have 5 people, but we're really well coordinated to know what we're doing and to get the work done a bit faster.
What are the most critical mistakes that framers do that you will never pass inspection?
The first point that almost never passes inspection is protecting the plywood. The second one is about anchoring. They should never forget how to anchor concrete upwards. The third one, it's a little thing, but they've emphasized it a lot. It never passes inspection for levels in the walls. And I think those are the 3 main points.
How many times usually your client builder order inspections? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times?
No, 2 times maximum.
I do it 2 times, yes. That's why first time it just understand what is incorrect.
Exacto.
And after that second time you have to pass inspection.
Exacto, 100%.
And for you, the final point that you complete the house is a past inspection.
Exacto.
Correct? Thank you, my friend.
You're
and
welcome.
Thank you for your job.